brought the ball down. The last gasp effort was short, and the Sooners never recovered from this ball game, losing their first contest in NCAA play to the Dayton Flyers. The loss left the Big 8's Player of the Year, Wyman Tisdale, in dismay. But this year, the Big 8's all-time leading scorer is all smiles, as his team, ranked 4th in the country, has already repeated as regular season champs, and after thrashing Missouri last night, are again in the tournament finals. Tisdale's teammate, Anthony Bowie, led the Sooners last night with 25 points. The explosive Sooners will meet surprising Iowa State, who derailed 10th-ranked Kansas last night, led by Barry Stevens, the league's #2 all-time scorer. Stevens had 25 points. The man who holds the Cyclone team together is Jeff Hornacek, the team's floor leader, who is also an outstanding shooter. Last night's victory put Iowa State into the tournament finals for the first time ever. Can they pull another upset today? The site is Kemper Arena. The event, the Big 8 Tournament Championship. Iowa State against Oklahoma. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender. Iowa State, before a record crowd, upset Kansas last night by 16 points. They're trying to get into the NCAA tournament for the first time in 41 years. Oklahoma, on the other hand, ranked #4, feels if they win today, they will clinch a top 4 seed in the 64-team field that we'll announce tomorrow on CBS. My broadcasting partner is Doug Collins, and Doug, Oklahoma is explosive.
Well, you're talking about the #1 scoring team in the nation, Gary, averaging over 91 points per game. Last night they set a Big 8 record by scoring 100 points for the 9th time this season. But I feel their keys is the ability to make you play their game, get into a run-and-shoot type game.
This is the winningest team in the history of Iowa State, the first time they've won 20 ball games.
Well, they have a very exciting team. They have excellent quickness. They have great chemistry. They play very well together. The two guards, Stevens and Hornacek, will be key. Must be very selective in their shots today, and they also have to find a way to rebound.
These two clubs met in the regular season of play, and Oklahoma won both of those games. We'll be back to introduce you to the starting lineups in just a moment. Three 6'5" performers. Hornacek, he's the floor leader. Stevens, the all-Big 8 performer. And this is Oklahoma. They are outstanding athletes. Tisdale, 3 times the Big 8 Conference Player of the Year. Bowie, the junior college transfer. Chu Kennedy. Linwood Davis, who's another junior college player. And Tim McAllister, the 6'3" sophomore out of Gary, Indiana. The officials from the Big 8 Conference: John Leimbach from St. Joseph, Missouri, John DeBrow from Wichita, Kansas, and Ron Spittler from Hutchinson. And Doug Collins, if there's any one team that has benefited so much from the junior college ranks, it's got to be this Oklahoma team.
Well, you look at the starting lineup, Gary, and you said Linwood Davis, Anthony Bowie, and I feel that Anthony Bowie has stepped in and has a big impact on this Oklahoma team, as big as Walter Berry has had with St. John's.
Billy Tufts, the Big 8 Coach of the Year again this year. He's won it the last 2 seasons. His team now, with a victory today, would tie the record for wins in a year at Oklahoma. Last year, his club was 29-5, and they stand 28-5 going into today. And a lot of people figured this team would be around today, Iowa State.
They played an absolutely marvelous basketball game against Kansas last night. Gary, the thing that impressed me, they picked up every loose ball, and although they were outsized underneath, they out-rebounded Kansas 35-23.
Johnny Orr, the wonderful gentleman who did such an outstanding job at Michigan before coming to Iowa State. Here's how Iowa State got here. They defeated Colorado, then Kansas last night, and they led by 8 and clearly are in command of that game all the way. Oklahoma blasted Oklahoma State. You can see they've been over 100 points in their 2 Big 8 tournament games.
Inside out, not outside in.
The pressure by Oklahoma. Johnny Orr said this is the only team that really bothered him all year long with pressure tactics. Barry Stevens.
Barry Stevens, an exciting player. Johnny Orr told us today that he has electrified his program.
There's McAllister. Sam Hill goes up. He can't get the block. And it's all leaving at 2. Clock and get their shot.
They need to run that clock down at least the 10-second mark before they start shooting.
Here's Grayer again. Lean in over to Kennedy. Jeff Grayer, 6'5" freshman out of Flint, Michigan. Wayman Britt to name one. Here's Linwood Davis. That's the shot they're going to let him have. Barry Stevens on the rebound. Hornacek saves it into Peterson. Backing out of Stevens.
That's a great sign right there for Iowa State. Barry Stevens starting out with a hot hand.
Out to Chu Kennedy. Here's Davis. Look at him sag off of him, Doug.
He's going to have to hit that shot, Gary, because Hornacek was diving in on the post. 15-foot jumper all day.
Sometimes those are the toughest to hit when you're wide open.
Well, you start thinking about it.
There's Stevens. He hits another one, and Barry Stevens, who was 8 of 13 last night, has picked up where he left off.
Well, he's
that leaping ability. Shot by McAllister, followed nicely inside by Chu Kennedy.
That's the killer right there, Gary. You can't give up those second shots. They forced a tough little jumper in the lane and just an easy, uncontested layup. But with it after they beat the press.
The open floor type of player. Here's Tisdale, followed by Boyd. Boy, is he good at that. He didn't get that one to drop, however. Here comes Stevens. Back is Davis. Stevens, he's fouled. Foul will go on McAllister.
Barry Stevens had his head down that time. He was going 1-on-3.
Johnson will give Oklahoma.
Well, he's going to give them, you know, David Johnson and Wayman Tisdale, Daryl Kennedy, all big-type, strong players.
9-6, Cyclones with the lead. Inside, Tisdale, beautiful drop step. They have lacked last night against this team, the guards that could do that.
You better have strong guards when you play Oklahoma.
There's Grayer. Jeff Grayer on the all-Big 8 freshman team nails one. But Iowa State 5 of 7 for the field. McAllister counters at the other end. You did the Grayer. Here's Hornacek. They are just exactly doing what they did last night. Shooting 6th in the nation in scoring, and we're going to see how well he maneuvers inside.
Well, Wayman Tisdale plays so well box to box, Gary. He's going to get good position. Sam Hill's going to front him. He's going to get around in front. The weak side help Peterson is just a little slow coming over. And when he does, Wayman Tisdale makes him pay.
54%.
They've had the guys they want taking the shots, and here he is, Barry Stevens.
Inside the Hill.
Nice pick and roll that time, Gary. He jumped in the air to start to shoot. Stevens, he drew.
Commanding game has not hurt them at all. They've come out playing well. Tisdale.
Now that's what they've got to stay away from. That can devastate you as a team to come out and play well.
Chemistry. Starting the last 5 games. Hill bats it away. Tisdale has it. Follows his own shot. Johnson. And Oklahoma eventually loses the ball.
Independent record this year.
Notre Dame was seeking their 20th win of the year. Here's Peterson, kicks it out. He threw it away. Peterson a little shaky in the early going. Iowa State, 12.5 to go in the first half. Tisdale, and he's fouled. Going to go on Hornacek. Now physical.
Iowa State is now in a zone defense. They'll go zone on inline out of bounds.
There's Bowie. Bowie's been relatively quiet. Johnson just took it away that time, and Hornacek will end up with another foul.
And shooting 2, but we saw an example right there of just brute strength.
City, his senior year. Into Tisdale, and batted away. It'll be off of the Cyclones. They're getting that ball inside to Tisdale.
Well, what tough matchups they have. We got Tisdale being played by Sam Hill, and he's just so much more physically strong. Fortunately, they're good help defense.
Back to the live action, inbounds to Johnson. He is fouled. They put him in there for was chemistry, but also the fact that he did some very important things for him at the end of the game.
Also, too, he gives him a little bit more size with Barry Stevens. Right now, for Barry Stevens not to get frustrated when he's being chased and take bad shots.
Grayer with Kennedy on top of him, still hit it. Well, what? Steal almost by Stevens. Bowie to Johnson. He's fouled.
Iowa State started 25 games for the team last year, David Moss, but Gary, as you said, he struggled with a knee injury, lost a lot of confidence, doesn't have quick feet, and when you have to...
They've really pushed him out on the floor a long ways. Hornacek in trouble. Here comes McAllister. Chu Kennedy with Peterson on top of him. McAllister will go inside to David Johnson.
David Johnson really coming in playing well. He's giving him a great lift off the bench, and Gary...
Baseline to DJ. Rebound Hill. Hill was holding his own in there.
Good position on the boards, keeping Tisdale off that offensive glass.
Hornacek is pushed from behind. He almost went into the nickel seats that time. Looks like he'll have that.
Gary, when you've got 2 excellent guards, as Hornacek and Stevens are, they can both shoot free throws.
Tisdale, boy, did he bump Hill on that play. And they're going to call him for a charge.
That's a good call right there, Jim.
Chu Kennedy wheeling in on Peterson. Tisdale is there, Hill is there, and Hill has committed the foul. That's his 3rd, and that's what Iowa State did not want.
In 3 seasons, averaging over 44 points a game for his career.
The only game he didn't get double figures, you saw that graphic, was against Kansas. They held him to 6. Tisdale hits them both. Oklahoma, for the 2nd time, has a 1-point lead. To go, first half, Hornacek. Rebound by Barry Stevens.
That's Iowa State's first offensive rebound of the game. That's their second.
Stevens just keeps after it, finally gets it to go down. When you're not hitting a shot, move in closer.
Well, that's the importance of multiple shots right there.
Yes, they'll go maybe 7 deep, and that's all. Baseline Tisdale. Moss will have to have surgery on that right knee after the year. There he is to the ball. Bad knee at all, he gets the shot.
Nice pump fake there to freeze the Oklahoma defender, and then he got it off the glass. Thunder dunk at the end.
We'll look at that a little later. Here's McAllister, fouled by Barry Stevens. The basket will count.
By Tisdale. Gary, the key on this play is he realizes he can't dunk it all in one motion, so he gathers himself and now goes up strong and completes the play. Stevens took it. It was still too quick. They need to run more time off the clock.
Tisdale again. There's the finesse to go with the jamming ability a moment ago. It's 10 points for Wayman. Work for everything. Peterson off to Grayer. Very nice pass by Peterson.
Oh, he got the defense in the air and dished into Grayer. That's a big basket.
Grayer left to go in the first half. David Johnson backs in on Grayer. Tisdale is there again. He missed it, but he's got it again. He reloads. He walked to the ball. He didn't like...
Door told us must be patient.
Baseline, David Johnson. He's just going to pull, get that ball in, and Grayer commits the foul. Johnson started slow this year. He had a couple of bad ankles, got a little overweight, and that will be 2 points by McAllister on the follow.
Peterson made a mental mistake there. He thought it was a 2-shot foul.
Hornacek into Moss. Rebound Johnson, he has 9. Taken away by Grayer. What a play by Grayer, followed beautifully by Stevens.
Oh, give Grayer credit there. That's why he's followed. Gary, we have a 1-point ball game.
Here's Tisdale adding to it. His repertoire. He now has 12 points in the game.
How frustrating it is to work so hard to score. And then
said 3 for Iowa State. Johnson has 10 of those rebounds. Foul will go on David Moss. Moss with his first. 13 points for Tisdale. Now 14, 4-4 from the free throw line. 32-27. Florida State. Memphis State beating Louisville last night. Stevens has a tough shot. Bowie, by the way, has not scored in this first half of play. Beautiful pass to Stevens.
Movement without the ball, Gary. The toughest man to defend in the game is the guy who cuts without the ball.
Into Tisdale. Charge on Tisdale. That's his third. Davis out to McAllister. Hill with 3 fouls. Tisdale with 3. There's Bowie, his first 2 points. Beautiful. They'll have to get it off before the time clock expires, and Hornacek got it.
That was a 3-pointer there.
Oh. McAllister. And Iowa State battling back after trailing by 5. Has cut it to 1, 34-33. Coming up at halftime, we'll have a report on the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee from here in Kansas City on how they have to decide by tomorrow evening on the 64 teams to invite to the 7 lead changes in this ball game. The last lead going to Oklahoma, they lead by 1 at half, and leading despite the fact they're not shooting that well from the field.
Well, when we check field goal percentage, Gary, we see that Iowa State shooting 54%, Oklahoma 38%. So Oklahoma has really bit the bullet in that first half and hung in there.
Offensive rebounds, Oklahoma really dominating there.
Well, you look at offensive rebounds, 11-4, but the key to me is what have you done with those second shot opportunities? We see now Oklahoma 14-4 off the offensive rebounds.
Well, the number 1 and 2 all-time scorers of the Big 8 going against each other, Wayman Tisdale and Barry Stevens. Let's just check what they've done in that first half of play.
Well, Barry Stevens, 7 for 13 from the floor. He has 15 points. Tisdale had 14 points, but more importantly, he picked up his 3rd foul, and that will be a big key as we start this second half.
And Sam Hill also has committed 3 fouls for Iowa State. When he went out, it was 20-19, and then they went 14-14 after that.
Well, you got to give David Moss a lot of credit. He came in the ball game. They went right at him, but he got himself together, hit a big hoop, and got a couple nice rebounds.
And so Iowa State looking for their 22nd win of the year. There's the way the scoring has gone. Stevens with 15, then the Grayer comes in with 8. Hornacek in that first half, Doug, only put the ball up 3 times.
Well, the thing that impressed me is he got the ball to the people that were supposed to be shooting. He got Stevens 13 shots and Grayer 7. Those are the 2 guys you want shooting the basketball for.
Had Oklahoma starting the same 5 that opened the ball game. Tisdale playing defense, overshot. Peterson on the follow. McAllister rejected. Grayer saves it in. Moss had it for a moment. Here comes McAllister to Bowie. Bowie very quiet in that first half with only 2 points. Now has 4. Davis, we stand corrected. Hornacek will inbound. 18:37 left in the game, and there's going to be the 4th foul on Tisdale.
I want to tell you right there's an experienced play on Barry Stevens' part. The crowd now, they've just corrected their error and they're cheering.
Inbounds to Moss, wide open. They went sleep defensively there, and it's a 1-point game.
How about David Moss today? He's playing very well.
And it goes to Chu Kennedy. Kennedy missed that shot in the first half, but he gets this one to go. 34.
Oklahoma averages 91 points a game. They have a lot of people who can score.
Barry Stevens, and that is a good sign for Johnny Orr's team to see 1-point lead for the Sooners. David Johnson. Hornacek, I believe, or is it Moss? 63%. He's 4 of 8 here this afternoon. Gets the roll, 2-point lead for Oklahoma. Foul previous to Tisdale. Here's Grayer. He overshot it. Moss trying to keep it alive. David Johnson has it, and with authority.
7th rebound of the ball game for David Johnson.
Bowie lost the handle, but saved it. Here's McAllister. Johnson again posting up on Moss. He's in trouble. He couldn't come up with the ball. Hit the bottom of the basket.
Good defense. David Moss did not leave his feet.
Hornacek penetrating. Nice move by Hornacek. 41-39, Oklahoma by 2. Chu Kennedy to Johnson. He's fouled. Grayer got a piece of it. That's his second. Good free throw shooting club. You have Kennedy at 79, Tisdale 78. 80% for Bowie. We're going to have a substitution for the first time of the game for Iowa State. It's Ron Virgil. ACC tournament game in the semifinals. Georgia Tech, a 47-44 lead over Duke. Stevens on the breakaway, and he's fouled by Bowie.
Anthony Bowie showing great sportsmanship there too. Pass, but Hornacek. Let's watch the end of this play. Slam dunk with a left hand. He actually hit his head underneath the backboard. That's how high he was up on that play.
Bowie shows his range.
Well, he's going to have to pick up some of the offensive slack for Wayman Tisdale being out of the game. Iowa State is getting in so deep defensively against Barry Stevens. He's really trying to keep the ball out of his hand.
Nice pick that time by Hill that freed Hornacek up.
Iowa State, a nice job there. They're running screen and rolls, just letting...
Sooners by 2. See if Bowie will try another one. He does. Anthony Bowie out of Seminole Junior College in Oklahoma. Good job with Stevens and Hornacek. And Bowie is fouled, and that's 4 on Hornacek. Hornacek with his 4th personal foul. Grayer will come back into the Iowa State lineup. Virgil will leave.
It's going to be interesting now when we see Tompkins in the lineup. Early in the season, Gary, he was averaging 27 minutes a ball game, actually second on this team in assists. Made the all-Big 8 freshman team. We have not seen him today. Personal fouls, got caught leaving his feet on Anthony Bowie, who did the smart thing and drew the perimeter the last few times down the floor. Tisdale, along with Hornacek on the bench with 4 fouls each. Johnson, a pull in there, comes up with it. Boy, what a game he is having for Oklahoma. McAllister fakes Stevens out of the way. Hill comes up, and Hill is fouled by Linwood Davis. That's his 3rd. And that now puts Sam Hill, not a very good free throw shooter. He's a 65%er, but he hits that one. The left hand was dead solid on that one. Oklahoma alive. He's just taken over the offensive burden. Diving on Grayer, and as he moves in, they have a foul. The basket will count. This is our most consistent player, and even though he had the shaky first half, he's come on strong. Now an assistant with Oklahoma. Peterson, he doesn't take very many shots. Davis to McAllister. Beautiful play. Bench. Grayer. They needed that one. That's the first time they've gotten the ball in the lane area in about the tempo picking up a little bit now. McAllister again. He's fouled. What an effort by Tim McAllister. Tim McAllister in the open floor, slicing through the lane. He gets fouled, and watch the finish on this shot. Off the glass and in. Talk about concentration. and now he'll be at the free throw line to finish off a three-point play. Gary, I've seen it happen so many times.
Greer missed, but Hill followed. Nice left hand follow by Sam Hill. The 10-15 now. It's a 55-49 lead for Oklahoma. Well, you're right about Linwood Davis. He's really limping out there. Here is a move by Kennedy. They wave the basket off. A foul before the shot. And that's going to be 5 on Greer, I believe. Just a freshman. This Iowa State team's going to be a good team next year. They've got only 2 seniors in the starting lineup, and actually Peterson shared one of those starting roles with Tompkins, a freshman.
Well, Greer really impressed me today.
On the bench in this ball game since the 18:37 mark of the second half. 79% free throw shooter is Kennedy. Stevens had it batted away from behind. Bowie reaching in.
I think he could be an excellent big guard in the pros.
He has 20 points. Look at the difference in free throws in this game. Oklahoma with 22 attempts at the line. McAllister, he's fouled by Tompkins. 57-year-old Johnny Orr, and best year Iowa State's ever had. And in his 5th year, he started to put it all together for
has improved.
Sam Hill, left hand hook. Beauty.
To die. They're not going to stop playing.
Linwood Davis. That second half, Memphis State now had that lead whittled down by Florida State. 65-63. Now DePaul has overtaken Marquette. Notre Dame earlier winning today against Dayton, and Georgia Tech ahead of Duke, 71-62. Temple in the Atlantic 10 leading Rutgers 44-35. Turned out pretty well despite all that. Here is Hugh Kennedy wheeling in, out of control, but he was fouled, and that is going to be 5 fouls. Fouling out of the ball game is Hornacek. He'll be the second man to run out of eligibility for Iowa State. He's out with 10 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists.
I think as a combination of all these fouls from Iowa State, Gary, I think it's 2 things. I think you've got to give credit for Oklahoma being so aggressive, taking the ball to the basket. He felt that the ball was on the floor on the drive before he got the shot off. But his argument was not won, and he can't get into double figures at 10.
Virgil will try one. Virgil out of St. Mel's. McAllister. His own rebound. Powerful move, 18 points.
What quickness. He let the shot go. He knew it was not all to the basket.
There's Tompkins into Hill, broken up, and a foul on Kennedy. Chu now has committed his 3rd. There's
the team is explosive, and Barry Stevens is the kind of player that if he gets hot, he can throw in 3 or 4 quick hoops and get you right back in the game.
Sam Hill converts them both. Well, they can cut it to 4 here if they can get one to go. Tompkins to try it.
We got us a ball game, Gary. I'm telling you, this Iowa State team.
And he left at the 18:37 mark. They led by 3. He comes back in. His team leads by 4. He's out 13+ minutes. It's not over yet. 5:19 to go in this title game. It's now by the Sooners. McAllister has been hot. Changed his shot that time. Follows again to Tisdale.
Again, that second shot opportunity. McAllister, Gary.
The guard at 6'3". Barry Stevens, he needs it. That might start him again.
That time might have been a good one by Johnny Orr, simply to let his team get a little bit of a rest.
Virgil did it.
They call him Iceman.
And he's won some games down the stretch tomorrow.
They're abandoning that 3-man passing game right now. They got to get it inside.
David Johnson gets the bounce off the glass. Back to a 4-point lead. Baseline, Virgil again. This time, Peterson follows. That's a big basket, his first 2 of the day.
Ron Virgil is attacking the defense. He's not staying on the perimeter, and he's...
Tisdale again. That's his first point since coming off the bench.
That clock.
Tompkins into Hill over David Johnson. Nice touch. Back to a 2-point game. 12 points for Sam Hill. score, Davis. They left him alone, and Hill ejected. They can tie it up. Tompkins, Stevens. Rebound, Peterson. Follow, and Hill is fouled out of the ball game.
Shot, keep it inbounds, which is the key. And then Iowa State actually got everything they wanted. They penetrated, drew the defense, and a wide open shot for Stevens that went in and out. This team has played, and I think also we've got to credit Oklahoma as well. Gary, a lot of people felt that maybe not playing Kansas today might be a little bit of a downer for them, but
Johnson, their fourth free throw shooter, 7 of 12, and he missed it. Rebound, Tisdale. He's fouled. A golden opportunity gets away from the Cyclones. Really big pivotal points at this particular stage of the game. Tisdale gets them both. 4-point lead, Wayman with 20 points. Less than a minute. Stevens. Peterson is fouled. Peterson doing a good job inside in this last 3 or 4 minutes. He gets the rebound. Doesn't get the roll, and is picked off by Kennedy. So close for Iowa State to get a long ways from being done. And that is going to be backcourt against Oklahoma.
One official was going to call that ball was deflected, but he did not blow it.
Looking for a clear out so he can take it in. The man that's carried him all year can't get the shot to go, and we've got a foul on Virgil. Timeout by Oklahoma. The Sooners lead by 6. 24 seconds to go. They have already captured the Big 8 regular season title, trying now to add the tournament title to their collection. They've got to put it up. Virgil does just that. Tipped out, Tompkins. And we're going to have a timeout called by Iowa State with 8 seconds. Most valuable players of the game. For Oklahoma, David Johnson, 11 points, but 17 rebounds. And for Iowa State, Barry Stevens, 23 points and 5 rebounds. A check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated by Chevrolet to each college's general scholarship fund. Taken off the clock. Bowie by himself. Foul by Tompkins. The basket will not count. So Oklahoma, with a win here, will go to 29-5. That will tie the school record for wins in a season, and obviously they've got a chance to add to that.
From nowhere to give Memphis State all they can handle.
This free throw by Bowie, it's all academic. 4-on-1. They're going to let Tompkins take it. He's going to end up timeout with 1 second.
Rule is in the pros, you can call timeout and get the ball at half court. In college, you don't have that luxury. So every inbounds play is an experience.
David Johnson will again be chosen to inbounds it.
See if he just throws it down the floor.
He got it into Bowie, and that'll do it.
At the end of the ball game, the final score,
Oklahoma denied the Big 8 tourney title a year ago. Not this time, however, as they win it 73-71. Billy Tubbs' crew, Johnny Orr's team, what a valiant effort by the Cyclones. The best year ever in the history of Iowa State, and Oklahoma figuring to get one of the top 4 seeds. 73-71. For Doug Collins, I'm Gary Bender saying so long.